I've heard of SWs, right? I'll write the word here because I do not say that word out loud. We don't do that here. We don't do that up in this house. No, we do not. But there is something that just recently started going around called mimics, which reminds me of these SWs, also known as flesh pedestrians. But what is the difference between an SW and a mimic? Supposedly mimics can mimic your voice, and if you respond to them, you're basically allowing them to enter your home. What they do once they're in your home, I have no idea. So are these things real? To the following videos that we are going to be watching, this is a very much real thing that they have encountered. Let's go ahead and listen to stories that people have actually faced a mimic, and then at the very end, I'll let you know my little encounter with what could be a mimic. I thought it was a paranormal entity, but it could be a mimic for all we know. Did I respond? Yes, I did. Unfortunately. Let's go ahead and get started. So the very first video that we are going to be watching is going to be from somebody named Creepiest Core. I don't think that this is the original poster of this video, but to be honest, I cannot find the original video, so I will post this person. And if you guys know where I can find the original video, please let me know, because I looked for it and I just cannot find it. So let's take a look at this one, and then I will give you my reaction, response, whatever, to this terrifying mimic story.
I'm home alone and I can hear myself saying my own name.
Stop me, Kaylee.
Kaylee! She was home alone when she heard a mimic that was trying to lure her out of the room, so she did the only logical thing and immediately took out her phone to record a TikTok. Her dad wasn't home, so she got really scared, but kept recording and decided to confront it by opening the door and exploring the whole house when she caught on camera something terrifying.
Stop me, Kaylee. Kaylee.
Kaylee!
Hello?
At this point, she proceeds to show exactly what not to do when you hear your own voice calling you when you're home alone.
Kaylee. Mom? What the hell is going on? Hello? Who threw that? Oh my god. Hello?
Kaylee, help me.
Help us!
Dad?
In this video, there is a girl who is home alone, and her name is Kaylee. And so she hears her own voice telling her, Kaylee, Kaylee, Kaylee. And at first she's like completely scared. She's like, oh, heck no. I obviously know that I'm not out that door because I am right here. But then she hears her dad's voice shout, Kaylee. And that's when she opens the door, and she does exactly what she's not supposed to be doing. She goes outside and she responds to it. She's like, hello, who's there? And then she hears her dad's voice, her mom's voice, and just calling her from all different parts of the house. And you see her as she goes around the house, and she still hears them calling her. And then somebody magically throws a ball across the room, but there's nobody there. I wonder what happened after this video was cut. Is this a real video? I don't know. I feel like this is a little too extreme for it to be real, if that makes any sense. Not to, if it is a very real encounter, then much love to her, much protection to her. But to me, this one doesn't feel real. But let me know what you guys think. This next video is going to be from somebody named Sid. So they are basically said that they caught a mimic on camera. And so we are going to watch this person's video as they show the mimic's voice. So let's go ahead and just watch this one.
So I think I caught a mimic on camera the other day, and I have to give you a little bit of context before I show you the video. I was at my partner's work, and they had found a baby bird that had fallen out of the nest. I think it was a fledgling sparrow. So after the wildlife rehab told me to just put it back as close to where I found it as possible, I went out back in the alley and I put it where there was a bunch of bird activity because I couldn't put it back in the construction zone where we found it. And as I was walking from there to my car, I heard like a really loud whistling coming from right behind my head. There was nobody anywhere near me. I was standing right here. This is about 6 feet below street level, and this is street level up here. I could see this entire parking lot. I could see down into this part. I could see down the alley. I could see this whole area, everything in that direction and everything over here, because that's just a big empty parking lot. There was nobody anywhere around me. There was a door that was closed right here that someone maybe possibly could have been going into as they were whistling, but the whistling sounded like it was coming directly from behind my ear, and this is a good 15-20 feet from where I was standing, so it should not have been that loud. So now that you know the context, here's the actual video. This is pretty much a happy ending because the wildlife lady was like, yeah, you probably... This is pretty much a happy ending because the wildlife lady was like, yeah, you probably... It was so loud, I thought that there was a person standing, like, directly behind me. That's why I whipped my head around like that. I booked it across that parking lot and into my partner's work because my car seemed a little bit too close to where I heard the whistle. I showed the video to my partner and their coworker because I didn't know if I was going crazy or not, and they were like, yeah, that's freaky and terrifying. Then from there, I booked it to my car and I just went straight home. So yeah, I don't know what it was, but there was no one anywhere around me, and it was a very loud whistle. So, I haven't heard it since. I'm hoping that it was just like a construction worker that I didn't see, or that someone was going into that closed door and I didn't see them, but I don't know, man. As always, I love you and I hope you have a good day.
So Sid is basically walking around in this parking lot when they hear a whistle coming, and it literally does sound like it's somebody right behind them. And then before they show you what, like the whistling video, they show you a little map, and then they are like, okay, I can see all of this, right? And they talk about everything that's around them, how they can see down the parking lot, how they can see this way and that way. The only way that the only place the whistling could have been coming from was like this door that's unopened. However, there was nobody. It sounded too close for it to be from that door that was pretty much a good distance ways away from them. And so then we see the video, and yeah, that whispering is hella loud. So this one I actually do believe, and what does add to their story is not only their like genuine shocked reaction, but also the fact that if you go onto their account, none of their content really has to do with paranormal. Like, this is not something that seems like it's a consistent thing for them. This is not a consistent theme. The paranormal, the supernatural doesn't seem like it's something that they consistently talk about. They have like outfit of the day videos, like just different random things, but none of it seems to be like paranormal up until like this video. So I find that really interesting, and it gives me a little bit of an additional little like push that this might be legit. The next video is from a girl named I am Kim XX, and their username is I am Kim XX _, and they filmed this little video about this mimic that she hears in her house, and it says, "This is not my mom. She left early to leave something at church. If she really was my mom, she has the key to open the door."
¿Qué? ¿Eh? Sacándome las cejas. Sí.
Okay, so this girl is clearly terrified. You see that she has like scissors in her hand, and she is ready to just whatever is behind the door. It's not her mom. And the mom asks her in Spanish, like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And then she's like, "Oh, I'm taking out my eyebrows. I'm taking my eyebrow hairs out, plucking my eyebrows." And the mom's like, "No." And then she's like, "Yes, I am." And then the video ends there. This is another one that like I find very interesting because, again, this is another video that like if you look at her account, it's like random videos about herself, about Roblox. Like there's nothing hinting again of something paranormal. So this one makes me think that this is something that she genuinely experienced. Now, is this one a mimic? yes, this one does feel like something a mimic would do. However, she did respond to it. Did something happen afterwards? I don't know, because she's still posting. Like, she has a few videos from 3 days ago. So I don't know. So that's that video. The next video is going to be from somebody named Uncomfortable Foot Sauce. They literally just have this one video on their TikTok account, and it says Doji Girl. And this one takes place in the Appalachian Mountains, which, if you guys know, the Appalachian Mountains are hella haunted. Okay, there's all sorts of things there. So if you guys want me to do a whole video on the Appalachian Mountains, I would love to. Just let me know down in the comments below. But let's go ahead and listen to this mimic video. This one is pretty terrifying because this is literally the only video that this girl has come out with. She's at an Airbnb when she hears this voice coming from the other side, and it sounds like her sister, but it is clearly not her sister. It almost sounds like a parrot talking, and it's saying, hey, can you call my phone? Can you call my phone? And it's just repeating the same thing over and over again while it tries to jiggle the handle, saying, can you call my phone? Can you call my phone? That is downright terrifying. Imagine being like, I want to go to the Appalachian Mountains for whatever reason. Maybe you like hiking, maybe you like to just camp, maybe you just wanted to go to the Appalachian Mountains for some odd reason. And then you have this experience. What's really scary, again, is that there's been no updates. Like, it doesn't seem like this person did it for clout, because there's no updates. He, she, they, whoever this person is, would have come back on the platform and been like, oh yeah, now that I got some attention, let's answer some questions that you guys may have for me. But there's like no updates. So it's like, what happened to this person? What happened to this girl? I'm assuming it's a girl because her name is Doja. She called herself Doji Girl. So what happened on this day? Just give us an update, just one, so that we know that you're not, I don't know, whatever mimics do. This next story is by a woman named Morgan Lambert, who goes by the name @Morg's Hauntings. So let's check this one out.
There is something that stays around me that mimics my husband. It mimics his looks and his voice. I see this thing every so often. Most recently, I had a full conversation with it about ice cream. That story's somewhere on my page if you want it, but I had a really bad experience last night. I've caught this thing on camera. I've had full conversations with it. I've seen it in reflections of things. This is the scariest experience that I've ever had with it. I don't know why this one scared me so bad, but let's get into it. So last night, my husband left to go to the gym, and he left wearing like black basketball shorts and a black shirt. So he's gone. He's like 40 minutes in, I think, at this point, and I hear a door open and shut downstairs, followed by another door opening and shutting like he's putting his shoes in the coat closet. A few minutes pass. I wait for him to come up. I register that it's weird because he always calls me on his way home, and he didn't, but I was like, oh, maybe he forgot or something like that. So a few minutes pass and he has not come upstairs, and not only that, I am hearing the opening and shutting of those doors again. More time passes, I hear the doors one more time, and I check his location because we share it on that Find My iPhone thing. It shows his location at the house. So I'm like, okay, maybe he's just doing stuff downstairs. I don't know, maybe he's like doing the surprise for me because he randomly does that. More time passes, I check his location again because at this point I'm like, is he outside? Because it's kind of showing that he's beside our house instead of in it. So I'm like, did his phone like die and he's trying to get in the house and that's what the knocking is? And at this point, my brain is like, did someone break into your house? Because it's nighttime. So at the risk of it being a break-in because I'm hearing these noises, I decide to just call him. And when he answers and I hear gym noises in the background, my heart sinks. Tell him what's going on. I'm like, I thought you were downstairs. I think someone's in the house. Should I call 911? By the time I finish the sentence, this man is already out the door of the gym. And I check his location out of curiosity, and it is now saying he's at the gym. It's not saying he's here anymore. He's like, lock the door of the bedroom, stay in there, I am on my way. So whenever he gets here, he says he's pulling into the parking lot of our apartments, and the phone goes. So I wait upstairs until I hear the door open, and then I come out of the bedroom and come downstairs. As I go around the curve of our stairs, I see my husband walk by the stairs. He didn't address me, but I assume he's just checking the house. So I call for him, still nothing. I come down the stairs and I look to my left and see him coming around the corner to this area that I'm in the kitchen. And I'm like, why isn't he speaking to me at this point? So I start walking, I'm in my dining room, and I hear the keys turn in the door behind me. I turn around and come face to face with my husband, who is walking in the front door behind me. He was not in the kitchen, he was not in the house yet. So he comes in, checks the house, everything's fine, all the doors were locked, all the windows were locked and shut. He was like, I told you to stay in the bedroom until I got inside, what are you doing? And I was like, you were in here, like I saw you. So now he's freaked out. We go to bed feeling weird, the house feels weird, everything just feels gross. And I wake up to this morning. Keep in mind, I have mentioned nothing on TikTok about this. I've mentioned nothing to no one about this other than my husband. But I am met with this comment. I'm feeling the doppelganger through this video. Be careful this week. And they have been right about a lot of the things that they have sensed in my videos and that I have seen and just not said anything. So this sent absolute chills down my spine. Because I filmed the video that they commented that on right here, right where that doppelganger or mimic ended up coming. Like, this is where they walked to. So not only did I acknowledge this thing and call for it, I followed it. And I don't want to know what would have happened if I had ended up in the kitchen, cornered. I'm so sorry this video was so long. I'm just scared. I also had another really bad experience happen a few days ago, and I'm still trying to decide if I want to share that one. If I do, it'll be this weekend because I'm trying to let the energy go away from it. But it's been a lot. A lot has been going on.
Okay, and this one we are following this girl named Morgan, and she talks about how she's had a few mimic encounters in her household. This one really scared the crap out of her though, because she heard noises downstairs and she assumed it was her husband, and she was looking up the location on his phone and it showed that he was in the house. So she was like, okay, maybe he's just downstairs doing random stuff. And then eventually she's like, what is he doing? Because he's still moving around downstairs, and she ends up calling him, and he's like, I'm at the gym. And that's when her blood turns cold, because she checks his location again, and now it's showing that he is about to leave the gym. And that's when she freaks out. She's like, I think somebody broke into the house. So he's like, okay, stay, lock yourself in the room, I will be there. And he's leaving. A few minutes go by and she hears the turn of the front door and like keys jiggling. And so she goes downstairs and she sees her husband come in through the door and go into the kitchen. And so he's just like moving around in the house, and she literally sees him. She's making eye contact with this guy and he's not talking to her. And he's like, okay, she's like, okay, why is he ignoring me at this point? And that's when when she's about to turn to go to the kitchen, that's when the door opens and her husband comes in. He's like, what are you doing? I told you to stay in the room. And she's like, I just saw you. And so she is terrified to think what would have happened if she had followed that thing into the kitchen. And then she talks about this person that's constantly leaving comments on her video, and whatever they say comes true. And they just said, I sense a doppelganger in your house. Please watch out this week. And sure enough, there was a doppelganger in her house. Now, the next video that we're going to look at is someone named Ivy Brannon, author, and their name is at author Ivy Brannon.
Shout out to all of those TikTok videos that talk about if you're walking in the woods in Appalachia and you hear something or you see something, no you didn't, because I think that just saved my life last night. Story time. Excuse the garage. I'm at my parents' place, and this is the only place my dog is allowed, who plays a crucial role in this story, by the way. He's a very good boy, and last night proved it. So, my parents don't live in Appalachia, but they do live in an area that's a little more secluded. It's still a suburb, but it's pressed up against these hills with lots of untouched wilderness, and coyotes are running through there all the time. It's just a little bit more rural. So I'm sitting in their backyard, which has this tall fence all the way around it, and the wilderness comes right up to that fence. I'm sitting there around the campfire. My dog is laying beside me. I got my laptop open and I'm writing my little stories. Suddenly, my dog lifts his head, stares straight ahead at the fire, doesn't even like look around at the yard, stares straight ahead at the fire and starts to growl. All dog owners know that your dog has different types of barks and growls. This was his warning growl. This is the growl he does when there is danger coming and he's telling it to back away. So immediately I'm like, buddy, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? And then I hear a voice at the fence line. And it's not just any voice. It's the voice of a little girl. And it sounds like a creepy doll from a horror movie. It's got that kind of like mechanical quality to it. And it's kind of like muffled and garbled. I'm still getting the heebie-jeebies. And all it does is go, hello? Just like that. Just like that. Hi, just same tone and everything. Now, mind you, it's midnight. There are not going to be any little girls wandering the woods at midnight. So immediately, I was like, well, this is either someone who's gonna me, or it's something else. And what made me think it was something else was the fact that the voice said again, hello? Only this time it had moved, and it had gotten closer, and I'd heard no footsteps. It was just floating closer. And then, mind you, my dog is still growling this entire time. For the next 5 minutes, that voice is just circling the fence line, going, hello? Hi? Hello? Hey? Like, just like that creepy doll voice floating around the fence line. And then suddenly my dog stopped growling. And he put his head down and he went back to sleep, and the voice stopped. I thought, okay, cool. That was weird. And then all of a sudden he lifted his head back up again and started growling. And then the sound of a ticking clock came from the bush directly across from me. Again, heard no footsteps, heard no rustling. Just a ticking clock started in the middle of the night, in the middle of the woods. So don't know what that was. But if anyone wants to hop in the comments and let me know, that'd be great. Because I can't wait to go home today. And I don't see myself coming back here anytime soon. And a big shout out to my protector. Yes, big scary boy.
In this one, we are following this girl, and she's literally outside with her dog, and she's red, and she's tapping away in the middle of the night, and her dog starts growling at this fire. And above the fence line, in the middle of the night, she hears a little girl's voice go, hello? Hi? Hey? Just saying it differently until my dog's ears are pricking up. But she goes, hi? Hello? Hi? Hello? Hello? Just hi in different ways, waiting, almost as if they're waiting, anticipating for a response. But this girl is not budging. Not getting any response from me. Hell no. After 5 minutes go by, her dog still is growling, and then the dog finally decides to stop growling. Not that long goes by before she doesn't hear a little girl anymore, but the sound of a ticking clock coming from the middle of the goddarn woods at midnight. What is this? Stranger Things? Is a Vecna coming? What is this? That's pretty creepy. That's pretty creepy. Also happened in Appalachia, or near Appalachia, okay? So, moral of the story is, don't go to the Appalachian Mountains. Don't do that. Anyways, you guys, that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it. Thank you so much. If you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell to be notified when I post. Please go ahead and like this video because that really helps my channel out. Comment down below if you've ever heard of mimics before, know what they are, have had any experiences with them. And also, oh yeah, my little experience with the mimic, I almost forgot. So, years ago, I used to always hear her go like, "Mom," and I would run to the room and she would be like asleep, like completely asleep. And this happened numerous times, okay? And this happens a lot in my house. People will hear, like when we lived downstairs, because the house is like divided now, like we live on the upper level and we used to live down below, and now my parents live down below us and we have a whole upper floor. So we always hear things. My parents always think that they hear my kids too, but it's not them, they're not around. And then recently my youngest daughter, who is very, very in tune with the supernatural, she's like me. When I was little, I used to see a lot of things that other people didn't see. She's very much like that, and she heard her sister the other day go, "Hey," like, "Hey." And the thing was, it was daytime, it was the morning, but my other daughter was at school, and my little one had stayed home because we had a doctor's appointment for her. So she was like, I just heard her call me, but she's at school." And I was like, "Don't respond." And she's like, "I know." She knows all about mimics. And not only that, but I'll constantly like see my dog go into different rooms, and then my dog will just come up a few minutes later and I'm like, "I just saw you go under the bed. Why?" So I sometimes think that my dog is an SW, a flesh pedestrian. Nezzy, are you a flesh pedestrian? She looks terrified. Anyways, you guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Let me pan it over to my dog. You can say hello to her. My little flesh pedestrian dog. Oh, Nezzy! Nezzy! Thank you guys so much for watching. Say bye, Nezzy! Bye!